Hi, this is the second part of solving and graphing two-step inequalities. This is our first example of two. 3.6 plus 7.2 times n is less than 25.2. Hey, gotta love them decimals. Two ways of doing this one. We could just flat out deal with the decimals and follow along with the laws. However, I'm personally anti-decimal. Just how I personally feel. So I'm going to do this. 3.6, I'm going to rewrite 7.2n is greater than 25.2, or less than, sorry. Well, they all have one decimal. Think back to when we were solving, when we were working with decimals and equations. I could clear the decimal. If I times this by 10 and this by 10, those will turn into whole numbers. And if I times this by 10, it will turn into a whole number also. So if I multiply everybody by 10, so I'm going to times this one by 10 and times this one by 10, well, what does that do? Well, now we have 10 times 3.6 plus 10 times 7.2n is less than, well, these are already next to each other, so we know what 10 does. 10 doesn't change the numbers per se, but it does move the decimal. It adds a decimal point. So now I've got 252. This is exactly what's going to do on the inside also. Now I have 36 plus 72n is less than 252. Okay, now it's a normal two. Now, hey, look, no more decimals. Awesome. I'm going to rewrite. I'm going to add negative 36 to both sides. This is going to equal 0. That's the whole point. We're moving the constant to the other side. Well, since they're basically subtracting, and I highly recommend checking my work on this, 2 minus 6 is negative 4, so we got 6 left over. 4 minus 3 is 1. So we know 72n is less than 216. Okay, let's divide that out. I'm going to divide both sides. Oh, sorry, I'm going to rewrite. 72n, is it less than 216? Well, I'm going to divide both sides by 72. And this is going to equal 1. So I'm going to say n is less than, let's take a moment and pause. 216 divided by 72. I'm going to go over here, because that looks like a fraction to me. Because I don't know the multiples of 72, right? Well, here's a really cool thing. 7 plus, I know I can divide this by 9. The question is, can I divide the top by 9? If I take 2 plus 1, that's equal to 3, and 3 plus 6 is 9. If I add the units together, I should be able to divide this whole thing by 9. And that's definitely true in this case. This is equal to 8. And 216 divided by 9, well, that's not too hard. We should be able to do that. This goes in twice, minus 18. 36, 4 times. So this is 24. And 24 divided by 8 is definitely equal to 3. So if I go down here, n is less than 3. Okay. So looking at this, my focus number is 3, n is less than 3. Is it equal to? Nope. So it's an open circle. It is not a full circle. If there's no equal sign, it's not a full circle, because 3 is not part of the answers. N is less than, so we're going towards the negatives because 3 is positive. Okay. There you go. Let's check our answers. Hey, we can use 0. I love 0. 0 is such a great number. So I'm going to plug it into the original equation. 3.6 plus 7.2 times 0, because I'm using 0. Is that less than 25.2? 0 times anything is 0. So we get 3.6 plus 0 Well, 3.6 plus 0, we're going to use the identity of addition, and we got 3.6 is less than 25.2. And 3 is definitely less than 25. So the decimals don't do much. Check. So here's my solution to this one. A lot of work. Notice that I did that little hint that I've showed when we were using decimals, that if you want to, how do I say, if you want to get rid of the decimals, you can multiply everything by 10. Always multiply by whatever will get rid of all the decimals, not just one of them. Example number 2. Negative 4y plus 3 is greater than or equal to 17. Well, I'm going to balance line, of course. Take negative 4y plus 3. Opposite of plus 3 is minus 3, right? So let's subtract 3. Negative 4y is less than or equal to 14. I'm going to rewrite. Opposite of multiplying is dividing. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 4. This equals 1. So y. And if we're looking at 14, right, we can take 14 over 4, and this definitely equals, think about it, we can simplify by 2, 7 over 2. Well, 7 is halfway between 3 and 4, so we got negative 3.5, because it's halfway. We just divided by negative 4. We divided by that, so we better switch that inequality symbol. So this changes to greater than or equal to negative 3.5. Well, where do we put this? Negative 3.5, I just mentioned that it's in the middle of two numbers. Well, here's negative 3, and 0.5 means it has a little bit more, but it's not quite the 4. So I'm going to put a little extra line right here and say this is negative 3.5. Sometimes you have to add little tiny things like that to a number line. It's okay. It's all good. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Y is less than or equal to, well, that means we're going to put a solid dot. And we want numbers that are less than, so we're going towards the negative infinity. Well, let's think about it. We have negative 4 right there. Let's just use it. Negative 4 times negative 4 plus 3 is supposedly greater than or equal to 17. Let's see, negative 4 times negative 4 is 16 plus 3. 16 plus 3 is 19, which is greater than or equal to 17. Done. That's it. So, that's our number line. This is our final answer. Y is less than or equal to negative 3.5. And this is our graph. Remember, the graph shows every possible answer that makes this statement true. That makes the very original equation a true equation. That's the whole point of the number line. So, that's it for inequalities. Get ready for the next section. It's going to be a lot of fun. See you next time.